Mike Craven, DCTF contributor, wrote a piece for TexasFootball.com where he did his way too early 2016 Texas College Football Power Rankings.
Right.
I like him. I think he did a decent job with him.
He did a good job. I originally pitched the idea to him as rank them most likely to reach the college football playoff to least likely. Mm-hmm. And I said, I realize it'll be silly season after like 6. He was like, after 6? You mean after 3?
Yeah, it's pretty tough. But there is but we figure we'll get on the act as well. We'll
get your list.
We'll get my list. My list of the 12 FBS teams in Texas, and if I were to project out next year,
right,
how they're going to end up, here's what I think. Okay, we'll start at the bottom. Much like Drake tells us to do. Start from the bottom, then finish up here.
Sure.
We'll start with number 12, and I think there's no doubt you have to start with North Texas.
I think this is fair.
You've got a first-time head coach, never been a head coach. The talent pool, I think, is pretty drained in Denton.
Yeah.
Coach Seth Luttrell, I've got high hopes for him in the future.
Yes.
But I think you have to go into next year in the same way that you went into 2015 with SMU.
Yeah.
That here's a new guy, first-time head coach, big-time coordinator, great coordinator.
Yes.
A good football mind, but it's going to take time to get ammunition for the gun, if you will. So
sure.
I think that North Texas starts at number 12, and at number 11 I would start with another team with a new head coach, and that would be Texas State.
Right.
I think the Bobcats, they bring back Tyler Jones, but aside from that, they're losing kind of the heartbeat of that team in Robert Lowe. They're going to have a number of defensive pieces to replace. Beyond that, I just wonder about the talent level on campus there. And with a new coach in Everett Withers, who's coaching at the FBS level as a permanent head coach for the first time. He was an interim head coach at North Carolina for a year, but I think that it's going to take a little bit of time for him to get his feet underneath him. And I think that Texas State probably starts the year at 11 for me. Number 10, I go with UTSA. I think you could lump UTSA and Texas State in as kind of 10A and 10B, only because they're both in a similar situation. New coach. I think UTSA has a little more talent on campus right now than Texas State does, which whoever ends up being the head coach. But if you wanted to play devil's advocate and tells you how much conviction I have in this. You could say, well, yeah, but UTSA, Texas State already has a jump on them in the 2016 recruiting class.
For sure. And the one thing I noticed when you did this, I was like, well, you put the team without a coach ahead of the teams with coaches.
I just think that right now the talent that's on campus is a little bit better. But other than that, this is pretty much a coin flip for 10 and 11 between UTSA and Texas State.
Okay.
Number 9, I go with SMU.
Sure.
I think the Ponies are ready for a step. I don't think they're going to be, my initial gut reaction is I don't think they're going to be a world beater. I think that there's still development going on. I think Chad Morris, in his second year, you'll see a step forward.
Yep.
Maybe that means 6 wins. That'd be great. I think 6 wins would be fabulous.
It'd be
5 wins.
Really awesome.
5 wins would be fine. You just want to see improvement.
Yes.
And so I start them for next year.
So far, I've got no major objections to any of this.
Number 8, I go with UTEP.
Yeah.
I think that getting Aaron Jones back is going to be key, but can he be healthy? But more importantly, that defense has got to be better.
Yeah.
The defense has got to be better, and they've got to shore up this recruiting class and get an influx of talent. And it would help to find a real live go-to quarterback. So you could be a little more diverse offensively. But
balance would nice.
I think bringing back Aaron Jones is a big key for them. They bring back some pieces on that offensive line, which should take a step forward. And if the defense can be a little bit better, then I think that they bring back Alvin Jones as well. So that should be good for their defense. But for me, I start UTEP at number 8. Number 7, I go with Rice.
Now here's where I jump in.
Okay.
The hell reason you got to put them this high?
I don't know. I don't. I know that they're losing a lot, and they're losing a lot of the guys that Dreyfus Jackson is gone, their quarterback. Juwan Davis, their running back, I believe, is gone. A number of pieces on that defense. I think this is me giving David Bailiff the benefit of the doubt.
I think so. Because, if you evaluate them purely on most of the reasons you use with the other teams, I don't know how they could be this high. Now, your counter-argument could just be, that's how far behind the rest of these programs are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a fair assessment considering all of their circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, I mean, that's the most disappointing team relative to where we thought they would be.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
This year.
I agree.
And they're losing a lot.
I think that I give the benefit of the doubt, though, to David Bailiff, just because he's been there, he's done that, and I think that he's going to bring in guys who are going to step up, and I think that he's going to use this as fuel. This is, to me, I wouldn't be surprised if they were doing if they were to take have a similar season.
Sure.
But for me, I think that they are poised for a bounce back year. Number 6, I go with Texas.
Right.
And there's a couple of different. If you are the type of guy who wants to see the glass half full, you say a lot coming back defensively.
Yep.
You got Malik Jefferson back.
Yep.
Most of your offensive key pieces are coming back.
Offensive line will be more experienced,
and the schedule should be a little bit easier.
Yeah,
a little bit easier. If you are glass half empty, you say, okay, they have all that offense back. What did that get them in 2015?
Right.
A whole lot of nothing.
Sure.
Do they still have do they have a quarterback? Is Gerard Hurd the guy? It's the same questions we had coming into 2015 that we're going to have going into 2016.
Yeah.
And so Texas is a bit of a mystery. And we've said before, big year for Charlie Strong. It's put up or shut up time. There's got to be a step forward because otherwise people are going to wonder if that step's ever coming.
Yeah.
So I've got Texas at number 6. Number 5, I go with A&M. And there is no bigger mystery heading into 2016 than the Texas A&M Aggies. The quarterback situation we think is now settled.
Yeah.
Where they're going to have Trevor Knight be the guy.
Jake Hubenak.
I thought Jake Hubenak performed well. I think that it should be an open competition, but if you have a graduate transfer, you got it. You're almost certainly going to Trevor Knight. You've got a new offensive coordinator, Noah Mazzoni. You've got some great pieces coming back from on the defense.
Right.
But there are pieces in the secondary that are going to need to be replaced.
Right.
And the question is, kind of in the same regard of last year, the linebacker spot to me is still a big mystery.
Yes.
I don't know who's going to play at linebacker and who you can trust there. Now, you're going to have Myles Garrett, and you're going to have Deshaun Hall, and you're going to have playmakers on that defense that are coming back.
Yeah.
Who supports the playmakers? Because that's what ended up coming to fruition there. And then offensively, they're losing a few offensive linemen. The quarterback situation, they're losing some running backs. It's going to be a big mystery, I think, for A&M. 10 wins wouldn't surprise me. 6 wins wouldn't surprise me.
Sure.
I think A&M's the biggest mystery, and especially heading into 2016 with the SEC, where the SEC, I think, spoiler alert, I think the SEC's trending up.
Yeah.
I think that next year is going to be
a tough year.
Yeah. Even better. So, for me, A&M is the biggest mystery. I stuck them at 5 here. And now the team that I'm going to buy stock in.
I see this.
Number 4, I got Texas Tech.
You shouldn't have listened to me yesterday.
I got Texas Tech.
Yeah.
I'm buying the Red Raiders for 2016. A lot of the weapons offensively, including Pat Mahomes, comes back. A lot of guys who caught passes from Pat Mahomes. I know they lose LaRaven Clark at the tackle position, and that won't be easy to fix, but I think they've done a good job recruiting at the offensive line. There shouldn't be too much of a drop-off. If you want to buy Texas Tech as a bounce-back candidate in 2016, as a big leap candidate for 2016, you're saying second year under David Gibbs at defense.
Yeah.
And I'm buying it. For now, I'm buying it. Ask me again tomorrow. For now, I woke up this morning feeling very rosy about Texas Tech.
I see that.
Number 3, I've got Houston.
Yep.
Houston's an interesting case where you've got the hottest coach in the nation and you've got one of the hottest quarterbacks in the nation, both coming back. Pretty much everything else, a lot of the key pieces around him leaving.
Yeah.
DeMarcus Ayers is gone.
Gone.
A lot of that ball-hawking secondary, which was the strength of that team, is gone.
Kenneth Farrow.
Kenneth Farrow's gone. Now, I like Houston. I think they are here to stay.
Right.
But next year is going to be a different Houston team. It's going to look a lot different.
Yeah, there's just more unknowns. This isn't necessarily an indictment.
Yes.
This is just we don't know enough about these guys that are going to be filling into these roles.
Number 2, I've got Baylor.
Sure.
quarterback's going to be interesting, but the great news about having 15 different quarterbacks play is that they all get experience.
That's true.
So even if Seth Russell's not ready, and with a neck injury, you don't screw around with that.
No.
I mean, he better be 110% before you put him back out there.
Absolutely.
But even if he can't go, Jarrett Stidham. But you're losing Corey Coleman.
Yep.
You're losing, to me, the most valuable player on their team, which was Spencer Drango.
Right.
You're losing a number of pieces on that defense. I still think they're going to be good. I think they could be great. But there's this notion that because they were just injured means that they're not that all those guys are coming back, and there's a number of guys who aren't.
Yeah.
And so for me, I've got Baylor. At number 2, and number 1 I've got TCU. The interesting thing about TCU this year or next year is that they are almost a complete inverse of last year, where you've got last year for 2015, you're saying, man, that offense. Look at all the pieces they've got back on offense. It's amazing. Oh, wow. Incredible. Defense, well, going to have to figure it out as we go along.
Yeah.
Now, switch it.
Sure.
Where the defense, because they were so hurt, got so much experience, and they've got a ton of big-time playmakers coming back defensively who got experience. But the offense, who knows? If you are buying TCU, you're buying Doug Meacham and Sonny Cumbie, and you're buying Kenny Hill, and that's what you're doing. And I think I am. I think that right now they start the year, ask me again tomorrow, but they will start for me in my way too early 2016 power rankings at the top.
Yeah, see, I would counter. I'd put Baylor up top because I think in an offensive conference, you have more certainty at quarterback and offense with Baylor.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know which guy it's going to be, I still feel like that's more certain than what we don't know. We don't know what Kenny Hill is going to be. So
I think there is a reasonable argument between TCU and Baylor at the top. Either one. And if you want to ride the momentum, you want to ride the lightning and go with Houston, I could see that too. Those top 3 I think are fairly interchangeable. But those are my way too early 2016 power rankings. What do you think? #DCTF Live. We are here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football, high school and college football in the state of Texas. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF, Facebook's Facebook.com/Dave Campbell, Dave Campbell's rather. Instagram is Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, all of our fine work can be seen at TexasFootball.com.